Good afternoon, everyone. Before we dive into today's presentation, wanted to just give a few other updates for you all. So if you haven't already joined our Facebook group, the Nonprofit Circle, wanted to invite you all to join the conversation. So you see a little QR code there on the screen. Take your phone, put on your camera and tap on the camera on your screen, and you will be taken to a link for you to be able to join the conversation in that group. This is a nonprofit group that we created here at GiveSignup, RunSignup, really to open up the conversation about event fundraising and really fill the group with your peers and some other experts to really help answer questions, to provide tidbits, tips and tricks, and best practices. We know, fundraising, event fundraising is hard, and so we wanted to give you guys a platform and a group in which for you to communicate with your peers and see what they're doing, but also hear from others as well and hear from other experts in the space. So please join the conversation. If you don't have your phone on you and you want to join, just know if you type into the search bar on Facebook, the Nonprofit Circle, it should come up and you'll be able to ask to join. And please answer any questions that they ask for you to join. Those are really just to help us better gear content towards you in that group. Next, want to update everyone on our 50K grants giveaway. You've probably already received an email from us about this. So wanted to make sure if you haven't, that you are aware, and if you have heard of this already, that you further understand what it is and what we're doing and how you can join in on this giveaway. So want to hit on 3 of the key eligibility requirements for this giveaway. 1 is your organization must be a nonprofit with 501c3 status. 2, you must raise money on a campaign that is created through our platform. So one of our websites, a donation form, or a fundraising campaign. And 3, you must be one of the first 500 people to raise at least $100 on Giving Tuesday with our product. We're offering a matching grant of at least $100 to all organizations who, to the first 500 organizations who set up a campaign, a website, or a form with us for their Giving Tuesday campaign and raise at least $100. So I really definitely implore all of you to get started on your campaign if you haven't, and make sure that you take some tidbits away from not just this webinar, but some of the other in the series that we've had, and raise at least $100 and get a matching grant from us. So we're really excited to be able to provide you all with that. All right, so to jump right in, what your supporters really think about your Giving Tuesday campaign. So this is our 3rd webinar as a part of our Level Up Your Year-End Fundraising webinar series. And for today, your speakers are myself, Charnele Williams, VP of Marketing here at GiveSignup and RunSignup, and Elisabeth. Do you want to say hi, Elisabeth?
Hi, everyone. I am a GiveSignup account manager.
Awesome. Yeah. So we're going to take you through today's presentation. We're going to talk a little bit about just a reminder on who GiveSignup, RunSignup is, move more into speaking about the donor journey as it pertains to Giving Tuesday. I'm going to hand things over to Elisabeth, who's going to talk a little bit more about building a donor-centric campaign. She'll then pass it back to me, where we can talk a bit more about Giving Tuesday through the perspective of donors. I'll pass things then back to Elisabeth, who's going to take us through some campaign examples, and we'll take any questions. All right. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So just to tell a little bit more about who we are, as you guys all know, founded in 2010, we were really founded on making sure and wanting to create free and purpose-built technology for endurance events. That was kind of our legacy of RunSignup, which I'm sure you all are familiar of. And now, about 2 years ago, we were getting a lot of feedback from customers wanting to use our platform for other types of fundraising events, other events they were having, and other fundraising. And so that's kind of where GiveSignup came from. And that's where we decided to evolve our product to have a lot of the features and capabilities that we've been speaking to you about in other webinars and we'll cover today, in which we are enabling nonprofits to be able to use our platform to not just support their endurance events, but other events that their organization may be having as it pertains to fundraising. To this date, we've had over 10,000 nonprofits raise over $1.3 billion through our platform, which is awesome. Our 10-year plan is really focused about how can we continue to help more? What else can we do? We're really about doubling down and for our nonprofit customers, figuring out how we can continue to build the best technology, free and purpose-built technology, so that you all can really further achieve your goals and your mission, make an impact with your mission. And a lot of it is really just focused around how enabling you to be able to grow your supporter base. So you'll see with a lot of our products and features, it's really about ways to activate and connect with your supporters. And really, we just do that, like I said, enabling you with free and purpose-built technology. So now jumping into the donor journey. So what do you need to know as it pertains to Giving Tuesday? So before we get started, I want to first push out a poll. So we're going to launch a poll. I'd love for you guys to give your answer, but I really just want to know, does your organization plan to participate in Giving Tuesday this year? So I'm seeing about 70, 80% saying yes right now, about 20% not sure, and this is why you're attending this webinar. I like to see that. That's great. And 0% with no, so that's great. It looks like everyone's, if they're not already planning to, then you are really looking for ways to figure out how to do so and to hit the ground running with it. All right. Let me know when you can see my screen again. Okay, there you go. So another question for you all. So we're gonna launch another poll. What percentage of nonprofits do you think didn't participate in Giving Tuesday last year? So I don't know about you, Elizabeth, what do you think?
Oh, there's a lot of nonprofits out there. I would say at least 15 or 20%. Just thinking about all those small ones out there that maybe didn't have the resources that they needed. So that's what I would guess.
I obviously already know the answer to this question, but I would say before I knew the answer, my guess was around 15%. All right. So it looks like most everyone, we have about 20% that, or 22% that think 20% didn't participate, 17% that's at 25, and 61% that's at 30% or more. So I was expecting you all to think maybe more on the lower end. So this is, interesting to see. The reality is that we had 25% of nonprofits not participate in Giving Tuesday in 2020. So one fourth of organizations didn't have a campaign, didn't do anything to kind of support, to grow, or give their organization opportunity to receive donations for Giving Tuesday. So wow. That's a big percentage.
That's more than I thought.
So with that, how much do you think was raised on Giving Tuesday in 2020? We have another poll for you. And I think, what do you think, Elisabeth?
Well, I think we've put this in a lot of our marketing. So if I answer, I'll give it away.
Okay, so I think it's important to take note on this though, because whatever this amount is, it means that there's a fourth of all organizations missed out on getting their piece of the giving pie. I know 2020 was a challenging year for all, but I think when we share how much was actually raised, it'll be pretty eye-opening. All right, so it looks like 42% think 900 million, 46% think 1 billion, and 13% 2 billion. So the actual number is $2.5 billion raised just on Giving Tuesday in 2020. That's a huge number, right, Elisabeth?
Yeah, most people thought it was 1 billion apparently.
So a lot of money raised in just 24 hours, one day out of 365 days, and 808 million of that was online giving alone. So that's phenomenal. I mean, it just goes to show that there were still a lot of people giving. The numbers I know have continued to increase year over year, even with the pandemic. So seeing that 25% of nonprofits did not participate in Giving Tuesday, it was a real missed opportunity. So Before we dive into this donor journey, actually, I think I have one other quick poll question I don't have a slide for. Let's launch this last poll. Just want to know, just get a sense, did your organization participate in Giving Tuesday last year? Okay, interesting. So it looks like we, oh, okay, the numbers are 50.
Bouncing, but it's
Yeah, the
pretty
numbers
close.
are bouncing back, but it looks like we have a mixed bag. Right now it looks like 50-50. 50% of you all attending right now did participate in Giving Tuesday, and 50% did not. So a little bit higher than the general average that I quoted to you before. But let's go ahead and dive right in so we can kind of talk about ways in which you can participate in Giving Tuesday this year. All right, so the donor journey. So I really want to provide context here on why and how creating the best Giving Tuesday experience is important to the donor journey. So 3 main things that I really want to reference here about the donor journey. It's really important to, 1, personalize. Personalization is key, right? Know who your donors are, know your supporters, and personalize those communications and those touch points. Really important to providing, a great experience. I know you guys probably hear about the donor experience, or the customer experience outside of the nonprofit world, right, is how we refer to it. Personalization is key. It's number 1. 2, storytelling, right? It's really important to have clear and relevant messaging that is personalized for your supporters, right? Storytelling, I'm sure you all have attended webinars, read content about storytelling and why it's important, but as it pertains to the giving experience and for your donors, you've really got to bridge that gap and make those connections for them, and make it relevant for them to care why they should support your organization, and do so in a way that just makes it easy for them to want to support. And then, it's a little error on the side, just say make giving easy. So seamless giving. Attention spans are short. You just need to make it easy for them to donate and to support. That means we don't need, you don't want 4 to 5 click-throughs to get to the form in which they can donate. Don't make them really search for information about your organization. Really present all of that up front. Think about these 3 pieces as really the necessities to best activate your supporters and provide them with the best giving experience for their donor journey. Next. Okay. I think okay. So one other question here that I had, it's not a poll, but I just curious on everyone, and I want you all to think about it. What is your biggest Giving Tuesday fear? Because I want to jump into what I hear a lot from organizations as their biggest fear with Giving Tuesday when they're thinking about their campaign and how they want to show up on Giving Tuesday. And I think it's really important to hit on this because I'm sure you guys probably have some of the same fears here, but I see the biggest one being bombarding supporters and donors with too many emails and messages. The worry is that you're going to annoy and frustrate supporters to the point that they don't want to engage anymore, they don't want to support, and that they just click the trash button and they're completely disengaged with your organization. But in reality, donors are already going to be receiving and seeing tons of Giving Tuesday emails and social media posts from other organizations. So really your focus should be less about bombarding them with messages and really focusing on getting in front of them first, sending them, like we talked about, personalized and relevant messages, and then give your supporters other options on ways on how to support. So less about how many times you're messaging them, it's more about what you're putting in front of them and when, right? See this as an opportunity to get in front of them first. This is why we're kind of talking about Giving Tuesday, and we started talking about it the beginning of September, because we want to make sure you all are armed with the right information so you can get out in front of your supporters and your donors now. Start storytelling, start with the build so that when you come for the ask on Giving Tuesday, they are already informed, they know how to support, and it just is easy for them to just click the button and donate. So, don't let this big fear about annoying and frustrating supporters really be the thing that keeps you from getting your piece of the giving pie on Giving Tuesday. So if I had to say some key donor journey takeaways, I just wanted to remind everyone, it is your responsibility to drive your donors to action. And you do that through compelling and donor-centric campaign. I know Elisabeth's going to talk a little bit more about that next, but just really important for you to recognize it's your responsibility to do that. It's not for them to make assumptions and to figure it out and to sift through pages or emails to see how they can support and engage. Make it easy for them. There's no such thing as too many communications if, it's a big if the communications have a purpose. It's all about leading with purpose and intention, storytelling. That's why we talk about storytelling, right? Super important. It is a noisy space on Giving Tuesday, so it's important to act early and act fast. Don't wait until the last minute. I know we have a lot and everyone has a lot on their plate, but don't wait until the last minute. Think about your campaign now. Think about how you can prime your audience about what to expect, what they're going to be donating to and supporting. Do that early and do that now. Multi-channel campaigns are important because they give many touch points to supporters. So don't just reach out through email. Don't just reach out through social media. There's other ways for them to for you to make contact with your supporters and your donors to make sure they're aware of what's going on with your organization on Giving Tuesday. And there's more ways to support than just donations, right? There's more ways, and it's not just also about the donations. There's also ways in which they can share your organization, your mission to their networks as well, which is great. It's another opportunity for you to get more reach for your organization. So now that we know kind of the importance of why we create the best donor experience for Giving Tuesday, let's learn a little bit more from Elisabeth on how.
All right. So I'm going to talk through how to build a donor-centric campaign, and then I'll also touch on how we can help through our GiveSignup tools. So what does donor-centric mean? I think this is important to address up front. Think about all of the ways that you engage your supporters throughout the year, not just at Giving Tuesday. So I have a list here, things like newsletters, social media, even your events. In-person interactions or virtual events that you might have, this year or even last year. Obviously your online giving, which we've already touched on, fundraising, sponsorships, like there's probably many more things that your organization does specifically. These are kind of general ones to get you thinking. So donor-centric then means that you're combining all of these touch points, these ways that you're engaging supporters, and you're connecting with them more meaningfully by doing so through multiple channels, like Charnele was saying. So somebody who receives your newsletter and also comes to your event is more connected to your cause than somebody who only does one of those things. And it's important to put your donors first because after all, they are the people that are connected to your mission. So they're not just sources of funds, although of course that's really important at Giving Tuesday, but they also want to connect with your mission and they want to learn more about your organization just for the sake of knowing more and so that they can give to you in a more meaningful way. You can go to the next slide, Charnele. So the basics of making your campaign donor-centric. The very first thing and the last thing that I would say is that you need to think like a donor because you've been one before. Almost everybody has supported a nonprofit, whether financially or by volunteering, at least a few times in your life or your career at this point. So think about what resonates with you as a supporter of any organization that you've supported, and then think about what about your mission will resonate with your supporters. So what parts of your mission could you specifically call out for Giving Tuesday? There might be something that's kind of time sensitive or a specific campaign that you're in the middle of for the end of the year that you can talk about specifically at Giving Tuesday, or maybe just different aspects of your mission that are more relevant at this time of year.
I've seen a lot of, sorry to cut you off, Elisabeth, I've seen a lot of organizations really use their comms as a way to drip out facts about whether it be, families they've helped, animals they've helped, stories, really just telling more stories. So
yeah, I think almost any organization, no matter what your cause is, obviously things like animals or people, like if you're a homeless shelter, you can tell stories more easily, but I think really any kind of nonprofit can think of a way to present your mission via stories because people really connect with that. So so thinking about this, this idea of having a donor-centric campaign, it's really important to think about how you like to be engaged by organizations that you support, and then applying that to your own Giving Tuesday campaign and thinking about how you can engage your own supporters so that they are able to better connect. So stories is a great way.
Yeah, I always say I think it's an interesting how sometimes we forget. We're marketing. I'm in marketing, so I forget on the day to day that I'm marketed to by various different businesses. So I'm in the seat of that person receiving it, and I think, as nonprofit organizations, it's important to think about you are donors, you support other organizations, so it's easy for you to kind of be in the donor's mindset because at times you are the donor, you are the supporter. So really thinking from that perspective.
Yeah, and I don't think that's hard. Like, if you're on the newsletter list for at least one other nonprofit, just paying attention to what they do that you're like, oh, that's really good. Like, I should start doing something like that, or something that they do that you're like, oh, I don't know, I would have done it differently. And you can apply that to your own campaign, or just to your general like operations, depending on what it is.
Exactly.
You can go to the next one.
Went too far.
So this is another really important thing. I think we've already kind of touched on it without saying it, but the most important thing to remember when you're thinking about your donors is that they are people, and so you need to meet them where they are. So the first part of that I have here is setting achievable goals and then celebrating the success. So the little graphic that I have there with the flower is actually from an organization that I used to work for. I was an intern there. And they are currently in the middle of this big campaign where they're raising money for a new like purchase of land that they're doing, and they're going to use that for education, and they're a garden, so they're going to use it for like an urban farm. So obviously they have a pretty big goal, and they got their designer to create this graphic for them that they kind of update and put out on social media as they're kind of advertising and asking for donations toward this goal. So I've seen it grow. I think I started seeing this when it was at like 400 or at like 200K. Now it's close to 400K. So this is a really creative way because they're celebrating the success that they have had so far. And it gives people something tangible to look at and be like, oh, like we're getting pretty close. Like we're over halfway. So I thought that was really good.
Yeah, this is a really creative way. Instead of, I know a lot of folks will use, the bar, like the thermometer bar, but this is another really great way, a creative way to show, the same.
Yeah, and you can see so the other graphic there is one of our fundraising pages for one of our customers, the Ballard Food Bank, and you can see we actually have a little thermometer there, and that person has actually passed their goal. So that's kind of like our automated way of handling this. Like you don't even have to have a designer to make you a pretty flower. Like if you're using GiveSignup fundraising, you can actually just have these thermometers that will automatically update as your supporters get donations. So I thought that was a good example of a way that you can kind of celebrate your fundraiser success without really that much effort at all. And then also it's about going beyond donations. So I thought fundraising is actually a really good example here. But you want to make sure that you can give people opportunities to get involved and to support you, even if they may not be like super supporters who can donate a large amount of money. Fundraising is great because they may only be able to donate so much, but if they can set up a fundraiser and kind of use their social media presence or their network of family and friends and get donations that way, they're actually probably going to bring in more money for you, and they're going to feel connected to your mission because that's something that they're working on sort of with you to raise more money for your nonprofit. And so I have a couple of other things here. Like offering supporters opportunities to volunteer and things like that. So obviously keeping all of that in mind as you're planning your campaign is important. And then of course, be genuine and make it personal. So I think this is the most important part of really any kind of communication that you're putting out for your nonprofit, like at any time of year, whether it's Giving Tuesday or not. Is just be genuine, be concise, and make it personal to the person that you're appealing to. Make sure that donors can connect with your mission. So the stories, like Charnele, you were saying, is a great way to do this. If you're able to tell a story about something that your nonprofit did this year, even if it's just like the impact that you had on a single person. That's a really great way to make sure donors can connect, because obviously people can connect with other people.
Yeah, I think it makes it a little bit more even like tangible of like what their donations went to and contributed to, and they feel even more a part of it.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it's making your appeal genuine, concise, making sure that supporters are understanding the impact of their donation. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about some ways that we give you through your GiveSignup donation form or your fundraising campaign to make sure that supporters are understanding their impact. But obviously there's even more than the ones that I'll talk about. And also, like I said in the last slide, this can also mean opening up other opportunities to support your organization other than donating right now, because obviously some people may not be able to, but you probably have other ways that they can get involved or make an in-kind donation or volunteer, again, depending on what kind of opportunities you have. So how can GiveSignup help? What tools do we have for you? So the first one that I'm really excited about, because this is our, it's a new release, but it's also like a ongoing project that's going to develop and get really, really cool over the next few months. It's our brand new next generation email system. So if you've used RunSignup, the race, run, walk, ride platform before, you know we have email within that, but we're actually building a whole new email system that will eventually go across all of our products. For now, it's in donation forms, websites, campaigns, and ticket events. And you can use this email to enter, like to upload your custom lists, create a nice looking email with your GivingTuesday appeal, and you can email out to those custom lists. So you can email however many people you have. You may have thousands of supporters in your CRM or something. You can import that right into our email system and send out an email for free to all of them. And then obviously it's integrated with whatever GiveSignup donation form or campaign you're using for GivingTuesday. So you're able to just embed like a really nice looking donate button into that email. So it's very easy to build your appeal right through this. And then we're adding additional features to this email system in the near term, and also like over the next few months, like I said. So it's going to get even more powerful than what it is now, but it's definitely something that you should consider using for creating that, at least that initial GivingTuesday appeal on the day of when you're asking for donations. I've touched on this a couple times already, but we offer donation forms and fundraising campaign websites that you can use to set up your GivingTuesday campaign. So you can have a specific spot where everyone can go to make their GivingTuesday donation. So these are the products that would be eligible for that grant that we talked about at the very beginning. So it only takes a few minutes to set up a beautiful form, which would be like a one-page page where people can make a donation to your nonprofit, or a campaign website where you could actually have some custom content on there and people are able to set up their own individual fundraising pages for your nonprofit for GivingTuesday. So you may want to use both depending on what kind of campaign you want to do, but I definitely recommend these two products as like the main ways that we see nonprofits using us for GivingTuesday. With the fundraising campaigns, I'll add that because they're able to set up their own individual fundraising like fundraiser page, that's actually integrated with Facebook fundraising, so they can create a matching Facebook fundraiser that they can share that way, and then those donations flow into GiveSignup, so you can see that in one place. So you'll see your Facebook donations and your GiveSignup donations all in one report through those connected fundraisers. And Facebook donations are free, so it's even more free money. So definitely something you should take advantage of if you're going with campaigns. And then the last thing here, free websites. So free websites for every single event or campaign. And by that we mean like a separate cover page. You can add different custom content to every website for every event and campaign. You can add dynamic content like I have listed here. So the goal thermometers that we touched on, playlists, video, pretty much anything you want to add to it, you can add. And then you can design this to make it look really, to make it match whatever kind of branding you're using for Giving Tuesday, because you have a free website. So you might as well take advantage of it. And it'll be really easy for you to use. You'll see when you get in there. We've had a couple of customers that I'll talk about at the end that have already used these websites to put in really useful content about their mission, and it's a great way to kind of condense that information into a separate website that you can point people to for Giving Tuesday, so that they don't get stuck like on all the pages that you have on your main website that you might have for your nonprofit.
All right. Well, now we're going to take you through an example, and I want you all to think about sitting in the donor seat. So this is going to be through the perspective of the donors. And this is really meant to give you guys just kind of an example campaign. So I'm going to read through kind of like an example campaign that a nonprofit might do for Giving Tuesday, and just kind of sit and kind of be the donor for a second and think about all the different touch points. Because I think, this is another clear example of how it might debunk some of your fears on bombarding your donors or your supporters with too many communications, but really how it just kind of all comes together and makes sense. And one thing, we actually have created a really cool infographic that we'll also share with you, I think later this week, that will kind of show and showcase everything that we're talking about here in this section. So to start, Giving Tuesday, right? 1 month out. So this is when the supporter, you as a supporter, you're receiving your first Giving Tuesday email from an organization. What do you see? You're seeing a personalized email that calls out your name, references how you've been a supporter or a donor before. There's a strong message there in that email about the organization's mission, and it's driving you to want to take action. There's more details in it about Giving Tuesday that's coming up, and that they're going to be pushing out a campaign. So it's telling you to look out for more information, and it includes some information about how they plan to use whatever donations they receive from Giving Tuesday to support and further make an impact for their cause and for their mission. There's also more details on ways that you can participate and a save the date, so you remember that it's coming up. So I don't know about you, Elizabeth, if you receive this email, would you be alarmed? Would you feel good about it? Or would you be like, this is informational, this is great, and it's giving me something to look forward to?
I think I would be impressed, especially if it was personalized and referenced that I've been a donor in the past, because that would tell me that this nonprofit has enough like intelligence on me to know that that I've been connected to them in the past, and that I would probably be likely to donate again. And I think I would be more likely to donate again.
Great, yeah. I think to your point, it's personalized, it has purpose and meaning, which I think is important here. It's not just asking for a donation, it's telling a little bit of a story, but trickling out that there's more to come. So I think that's what we like about that. So 1 week out from Giving Tuesday, you're the supporter, you receive a reminder email about the Giving Tuesday campaign. So what do you see in this email? You see a reminder about what your donations are going to help in regards to the org that you're supporting, what's going to help them accomplish. You're going to see more information about their Giving Tuesday goal, right? So when we talk about kind of the bars that show how much is raised, like you know that you're contributing to a goal. It's a thought out number. They're not just saying, hey, everyone donate, but really making it a little bit more actionable as to what they're trying to achieve and what they're going to use that money for. So it really connects the dots there. They're also going to include details on how to follow along with this goal and how they're progressing to their goal on Giving Tuesday. It's super important. So you can watch and you can see as the hour and the minute passes by, what's really happening, how are other people also supporting this organization. And then also includes a link to create a peer-to-peer campaign as well. So you can join in on the fun, you can support this organization and share it to your network. What do you think about this, Elizabeth? What's your initial take? It's a week out from Giving Tuesday. You get another email from this org. What are your initial thoughts there as a
I
donor?
think this would also be really effective because like 1 week out, like you're starting to think about it, it's kind of a manageable amount of time away. So these are the kind of like calls to action that I think would resonate, because for example, if I'm going to set up a campaign, like that gives me a week to kind of set it up and then start communicating to my friends and family and start getting some donations in.
Exactly.
So just enough time.
Yeah, it's close enough, but far enough away where you have the time. You don't have to act immediately today, but you can do a little bit today, some tomorrow. Think about it, really put some thought into it on how you want to support. What I like too is that it's not just regurgitating what was sent in the first email, but it's giving more information. So it's there, you can see the build happening, right? Laying the foundation was email one. This one, it's the next part of the build, right? And it also is referencing how you can kind of join in on the fun and support, and you can see everything that's happening. So I like that transparency as well.
Yeah.
It's managing expectations, it's setting expectations and managing it, showing how they're going to manage it. So, all right, next. So one day out from Giving Tuesday, you see postings on your social media channels about your organization's Giving Tuesday campaign. They're announcing it, probably some new graphics, sharing the campaign and the goal, sharing tidbits and information on how to participate and share with your networks. They have a link to the campaign page, and obviously social media, you can click and reshare with your network. What I love about this is it's utilizing another channel. I don't know your thoughts, Elisabeth. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I like that too. That's actually what I was going to say. I like that it's a different channel, because if it was me, I would see, oh, okay, they're posting, like they're not just emailing current donors, like they're posting about this. I would see it and I'd be like, oh, I'm going to share that because I already feel connected to that. Like I've gotten a couple of emails from them already. Like I set up my campaign page. Like I want to share this because that gives me a way to already sort of connect and take a step toward getting donations for this nonprofit that's been contacting me. They clearly want me to help them.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think what's great is it just makes it easy for the donor, in the donor seat. It makes it easy for you to participate and share with your network, because they're putting all the information right there in the post. You can reshare it, and you can include kind of your story and how you got connected with that organization and why it means so much to you, which is going to go, even further in that reach with your network of folks. I think one thing we always forget is, you're asking for people, as an organization, you're either asking for people's time or money. And so making it an easy way for folks to share as well with their network, making it a one-click thing, it really goes a long way.
Yeah.
So now, on the most important day, the day of Giving Tuesday, you, the supporter, you receive an email appeal in the morning, right? This is really the heavy hit home email directing you really to donate and straight to the point, important CTA that's clear and concise. You also see the nonprofit posting hour by hour, play by play updates on their social media channels and interesting information about what they can do with each amount goal that they hit. So you also see a link to the nonprofit's donation site. You see all the information there as well. Midday, you receive an email update of, this is what we've accomplished so far through your help. Here's one other way you can take it a step further. And to finish out the day, you receive a final email from the organization that thanks you for your support and participation, and shares kind of if they were able to meet their goal or not. What are your thoughts on this day of? There's a lot there, I know.
Yeah, so I've actually had the experience of working at a nonprofit on Giving Tuesday. And what we did was the staff, which was like a few people, we all kind of camped out in the office and basically did exactly this. Like we were posting on Facebook constantly, like we were monitoring all these Facebook fundraisers that were up. And I don't think people feel bombarded by any of this. So I don't think this is overwhelming for the supporter. I think people actually like kind of having that like ongoing like communication from your nonprofit. If they're already engaged with you, like you were saying, like if they've had the build already of seeing emails and social media posts about Giving Tuesday before the day, they're not going to be surprised by this. They're not going to be turned off by this. They're actually going to want to engage with you and hopefully donate as well. And I think the multiple like email appeals throughout the day are nice, because somebody might wake up, see your first email, they're like, okay, yeah, I'll get to that later. But then you're hitting them a couple more times. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so finally, eventually, they're going to click that donate button and actually make their donation. But in the meantime, they might also share something on your social media or go to your donation website and send the link to somebody in their family that might be interested in donating as well. So
Yeah. And I think it's important too, because it's 3 critical points throughout the day and you're really giving updates. I think leading with the update and sharing also how to continue to support, you're keeping it really very concise on what you're saying. You're not bombarding them with a bunch of other information that's not really relevant. You're really just making that email have purpose, and then leveraging other channels like social media. So
Yeah.
awesome. And then the one thing that's always, I feel like, a missed opportunity too is the day after, Thank You Wednesday. Let's not forget about Thank You Wednesday. So you're the supporter, you receive that thank you email, the organization thanking you, sharing kind of where they ended out the day before on Giving Tuesday. You're encouraged to stay in touch, see, and they're gonna share with you, and they're making that promise, sharing about the impact of your contributions, and they're also educating you on other ways to be an advocate for their organization through the year end, right? They're, the last 3 days of the year is when I think it's roughly, don't quote me on this percent, but I think it's like 53%, or maybe it's less than that, but the most amount of money in the year is raised in the last 3 days of the year. So a lot of organizations, as you all know, you have your year-end campaign. I think it's a good opportunity for you to use that Thank You Wednesday as an opportunity to showcase all the other campaigns you have, all the other events you have coming up. You now have someone who is really excited and a part of your team, really, and they want to know more. So definitely don't keep them in the dark. Bring them in and bring them in further. Any other thoughts there from you, Elisabeth?
Yeah, I think this is really important because so if somebody does donate, or even if they don't, like, continuing to receive communication from you after the fact makes them feel more connected to you. They know, like, oh, okay, they didn't just care about me up until Giving Tuesday, like they want me to stay connected. Maybe if I didn't get the opportunity to donate before or on Giving Tuesday, I see that there's still an opportunity, and yeah, sure, I'll stay in touch because I want to see like what happens with my donation. I want to see what you guys do in the new year.
Yeah. All right. So handing things back to you, Elisabeth, to go through some customer examples.
Yeah, so I pulled a few examples, pretty current examples of like actual live campaigns going on right now. So I'll just go through and kind of point out what I think they're doing well, and what features that they're using that I think are really important for Giving Tuesday. So this one is called All Wheels Up, and they fund research and development initiatives for like commercial airlines. They're trying to make them more accessible to people with travel limiting disabilities, and they kind of summarize that in their little description on their donation form on the right there. So that's a donation form if you haven't seen one. This is what they look like. So you have that nice little sort of bubble of text at the top, and you can have, that's probably about the most text I recommend putting on a donation form. If you need more than that, then I recommend doing a full website or a campaign or something. But I think theirs looks really nice. They have their logo there, and then they have all of those donation levels. What I really liked about this one is that they have a super wide range of donation levels. I don't know that they actually expect anyone to give $160,000 in one donation, but I like that they put it there because it's sort of another way of like sharing what that amount would do. So even if somebody's only going to go on there and make $100 donation or something on Giving Tuesday itself, they're able to see like, oh, okay, but $160,000 like gets a whole university study done, or $50,000 gets a full year of this one program paid for. So they're kind of communicating even more through their donation levels, in addition to what they've put in their little description. So I thought that was really cool and really creative. And then something you can't actually see here is you can hover over their donation levels, and there's even more information about some of them. So if you actually go to their real donation form, you'll be able to see that. But I thought that was nice too.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think it's great that they're really giving you something tangible of what the what your donation is going to and what it can do. So that's nice. And then the one thing I will say is, well, they definitely go into a high amount of what 160,000 is a as a
Yeah.
donation. I don't know how many folks they have that are going to be giving that amount, but maybe if it did not end with 160,000, I would say almost flipping the donation amounts, starting with the highest and lowest, and ending with the lowest. I think that's helpful to garner, higher donations from supporters as well.
Yeah, so you can arrange them in whatever direction you want. I would say usually you'll see people do 4 donation levels. Like this one has a little bit more than I would see on average. This one looks really nice though, so I don't think it's too many. But if you have 4, like you might only have up to like $200 or $500 as your top one, and then I would definitely recommend flipping them. So you have 500 first or whatever. And then the last thing I'll say is they're new to the platform, so they actually set this up all by themselves. Like they didn't need any support setting it up, and they got it up within like I think a couple of hours. And we're starting to accept donations. They're going to use our email, so they're really using everything available to them.
I love that. Quick and easy for them to get up. They're new to it. So for all of you out there that are new, just know it's something that you've done, in less than a day's time.
So the next one, so the Teaching and Learning Collaborative has actually used us already for their like charity bibs. So they're familiar with sort of the Run, Walk, Ride registration side of the platform, but they set up a donation form for Giving Tuesday. And you can see their donation levels are dramatically different than the last example. But I really liked this one because they have some creative donation levels that actually go with the mission of this form. So this form is specifically for like one of their programs that goes to teachers in mathematics, science, and computer science. So they used numbers that correspond to those like aspects of their mission for their donation levels. And then obviously with donation levels, people can enter whatever amount they want if they don't want to use one of your custom donation levels. So people, if they wanted to give a full $32 instead of $31.41, they could do that. But I thought it was another really creative way to use donation levels on a form. And I think it looks really nice as well. And then the other thing that they were doing is they've actually set up an option for a monthly recurring donation. And I think people don't always think about this for Giving Tuesday. You think about it for your general donations, but for Giving Tuesday, it's really nice because this is a great way to reach new donors that you might not reach throughout the year. And if they set up a recurring donation, then you're getting that additional support throughout the year after Giving Tuesday. So I thought that was really good as well. And then this one, this is Wheeler Mission. So they've used us for a lot of things. They've actually have several donation websites, but they set up this one specifically for a specific company that's one of their supporters. That company is Holiday Giving toward Wheeler Mission. So I thought that was really creative for like larger nonprofits that might have some kind of program like that. So they were using our free websites. They were like, well, why not? Like, we'll create a whole new website just for this one company that they can share internally or whatever to collect those donations. So they set up a whole donation website with a cover page that you can see at the bottom there. And that also looks really nice on your phone. I actually pulled it up on my phone first and I was like, wow, this looks nice. Because of the photos that they use, they kind of crop naturally. And all of our products look really nice on mobile, but their cover page looked especially good to me. And they have information alongside of those images, so you can learn a lot more about their mission. If you think about it, for this kind of an example, a lot of people who are getting this appeal, this specific donation website, they might just work at the company. They may not know all that much about Wheeler Mission. So it's important to kind of communicate to them some important things about the nonprofit. And then the last thing is that they have a goal thermometer on their cover page, like we discussed earlier. I don't think I have a picture of it here, but they are using that dynamic goal thermometer cover page component, which I always recommend for this kind of a thing.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that seeing even this is an example of how they've ordered their donation amounts by the highest to the lowest, but something easy to, ask for. So I like that.
So the last part of this is that you can automate your integrations with your tech stack. So you can use you can take whatever CRM or whatever that you're using and integrate it with our GiveSignup products.
Yeah, so a lot of our customers, have are using a lot of our free technology, and they also do have a CRM or a DMS, but we believe in open. We have an open platform, and so a lot of them we've created API integrations into from our platform into their CRM or DMS. So this is just a short list of different integrations that we've already done. If you don't see yours on here, don't be alarmed. Please reach out. I'm sure we can make it happen, or it's probably in the process of happening. So, you know, we're definitely about making sure that you can have your data how you want it, when you want it, where you want it, and this just speaks to that even more so.
Yeah, so you shouldn't worry about needing to like get that information from your GivingTuesday campaign out of GiveSignup and into your CRM. It will be very simple. You can either just do a simple export import, which doesn't require any integration, or you can use our third-party partner and automate it.
Exactly. All right, so I wanted to do, before we do another quick poll at the end, wanted to see if we have any questions. Elizabeth, do you want to see if we had any key questions? Answer. I know we're also running short on time.
Looks like there were just a couple in here, but I'll quickly answer the one that I see that probably hasn't. Yeah, this one. That's more feature based. Where can we find and personalize that progress chart or the goal thermometer? So that kind of depends on what kind of website you're using and whether or not you're using the cover page. Within a cover page, so on any kind of website, you'll just go in and add that as a dynamic component to your cover page. And then for like the fundraising campaign pages, it actually shows by default, but there are checkboxes to turn it on and off in those settings. So you can email us and we can help you find it for your specific product, whatever you're using. You can email me. It's info@givesignup.org.
Awesome. We definitely will be sharing slides with you all and the recording after the presentation. So look out for that email that comes out. And it looks like there might be, is there any other?
I don't see any other. If we missed your question, we will follow up with you after the webinar, but I don't see any other ones that we could do for everybody. Okay. I could follow up individually.
All right, so one last question then before we close it out. So let's do our last poll. After attending this webinar, do you plan to participate in Giving Tuesday this year? Let's see, so far.
I'm seeing all yeses so far.
I love it. I love it. Hopefully, between this webinar and the other two that we previously had in the series, you guys really feel empowered, supported with, you know, our free technology that, you know, it can happen. It can be quick and easy, and you have some good tidbits and best practices on ways to really raise more for Giving Tuesday this year. So great. And just as a last minute, you know, reminder, 10,000 of your peers have already raised more than $1.3 billion using our technology. So if you have any questions, want to get started, are new to the platform, new to hearing about GiveSignup, RunSignup, I really want to make sure you just submit a form on either our website or in our follow-up email where you can speak to a rep, a fundraising expert, and we'll get you started. We'll get going. If you feel like you know what to do and you're ready to get started, you can go right to our website, givesignup.org. You can get started right there for free, no information. You just follow through. It'll walk you through what to do and to start setting up your campaign. So thank you guys all for attending and listening to us today. Look forward to chatting with you in the future. Thank you, Elisabeth, for joining me on this webinar, and look forward to an awesome Giving Tuesday that's coming up at the end of November.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Charnele.